The way the human skeleton responds to stress is one of the most astonishing examples of the body's ability to adapt. We tend to think of bones as rigid, unchanging structures, but in reality, bone tissue is dynamic and alive, constantly remodeling itself based on the demands placed upon it. One of the most striking demonstrations of this came from early space exploration. When astronauts first returned from long missions in zero gravity, doctors discovered that some had lost up to 20% of their bone density. These astronauts left Earth in peak physical shape. Yet the absence of gravity caused their bones to weaken dramatically. This taught scientists that bone tissue responds directly to mechanical load. Without regular stress, bone density decreases. When significant stress is applied, bone adapts by becoming stronger and denser. In short, bones follow a use it or lose it principle. To understand why bone changes the way it does, it helps to look at its structure. Each bone in the body is made of two main types of tissue: compact bone and spongy bone. Compact bone forms the hard, dense outer surface. In long bones like the tibia, this outer layer can become exceptionally thick, particularly along the shaft where weight-bearing forces are greatest. Beneath this layer lies the spongy or trabecular bone. While the name suggests softness, it is actually a highly organized structure made of thousands of microscopic, beam-like elements called trabeculae. These tiny struts resemble the framework of a well-engineered building, and they are arranged precisely along the lines of stress that the bone experiences in everyday life. Their shape and alignment are anything but random. Instead, they constantly shift in response to the pressures placed on the skeleton, strengthening high-stress areas and lightening low-stress ones. The types of forces that influence bone remodeling fall into two general categories: compressive forces, which push on the bone, and tensile forces, which pull on it. Both are essential for optimal bone strength. Bone's ability to withstand these forces comes from its unique composition. The inorganic component, primarily hydroxyapate crystals made of calcium and phosphate, provides compressive strength and hardness. This is why calcium intake is directly linked to strong bones. The organic component, collagen, forms flexible, rope-like fibers that resist being pulled apart. Together, these materials allow the skeleton to endure countless impacts, stresses, and loads. Exercise is the most effective way to stimulate these adaptations. When a person moves, jumps, lifts, or even walks, the bones experience a combination of pushing and pulling forces that signal the need for reinforcement. The key, however, is consistency. Without regular activity, the remodeling process shifts in the opposite direction, allowing bone density to decline. When the bones receive steady, repeated stress, osteoblasts, the cells responsible for building bone, outpace osteoclasts, which break bone tissue down. This results in thicker, denser, stronger bones over time. Many everyday activities create compressive forces. Walking places a moderate amount of compression on the bones of the legs and hips. Running increases this force considerably, and jumping amplifies it even further. These high-impact activities produce strong ground reaction forces, which stimulate bone tissue to reinforce itself. On the other hand, tensile forces are most often produced by muscles contracting. When a muscle contracts, its tendon pulls on the bone it is attached to, creating internal tension that promotes bone growth. Exercises like pull-ups, push-ups, biceps curls, and resistance training all generate significant tensile stress. The interesting thing is that most movements involve both types of forces at once. A simple biceps curl, for example, pulls on the radius bone when the biceps contracts. At the same time, the weight in the hand creates a downward force that bends the bone slightly. While the bone does not actually bend visibly, the microscopic forces still occur. The top surface of the bone experiences tensile stress, while the bottom surface experiences compression. This dual stimulation is excellent for bone strengthening. Running also produces both tensile and compressive forces due to the slight inward angle of the femur and the impact absorbed with each step. Even though the bone is strong enough not to buckle, it still adapts to the repeated load. Because so many forms of movement stimulate bone, people don't need a complicated or specialized exercise routine to maintain skeletal health. Weight-bearing activities, resistance training, and moderate to high-intensity workouts of almost any kind can effectively support bone density. What matters most is choosing activities that apply enough mechanical load to the skeleton. For resistance training, the ideal intensity is typically a weight that can be lifted 6 to 12 times before fatigue. Lifting a weight 20 or more times easily is usually not enough to stimulate meaningful bone adaptation. Heavier weights within the lower repetition range provide a stronger signal for bones to remodel. Although running is an excellent bone strengthening exercise, it is not essential for maintaining bone density. People who dislike running or who have joint issues can still promote bone health through strength training, plyometric exercises, hiking, or activities like stair climbing. Cyclists, for example, may not experience strong impact forces, but they generate powerful muscle contractions that pull on the bones of the legs and hips. Squats, lunges, deadlifts, and other compound exercises provide both tensile and compressive stress without the pounding of running. Bone remodeling happens continuously, whether a person is active or not. Specialized bone cells coordinate this ongoing renewal. Osteoblasts build new bone by depositing collagen and minerals, forming fresh, strong tissue. Osteoclasts break down old or weakened bone. When these two cell types work at the same rate, bone density remains stable. When osteoblasts dominate, bone density increases. When osteoclasts dominate, as happens with inactivity, aging, or low hormone levels, bone density declines. One hormone in particular, estrogen, helps inhibit osteoclast activity, which is why bone density changes dramatically during certain life stages when estrogen levels fall. This hormonal connection plays a major role in understanding long-term bone health. Overall, bone's ability to remodel is a remarkable example of biological engineering. The skeleton strengthens itself in response to the challenges of daily life and weakens when those challenges disappear. With consistency, proper intensity, and balanced training, anyone can guide their bones toward greater density, resilience, and long-term strength.